morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a rather lovely pair of new cards. Okay, right. I suppose I should probably rephrase this, shouldn't I? We've got a new special energy that looks really fun, and we've got a new Ribombee. There we go. So we might as well start off with Lucky Energy, and from my demeanour, you can probably guess that this is the one I am rather more excited about. You see, when we were told about Chilling Reign the other day, when we got the official reveal, do bear in mind, we were told there were going to be 3 new special energies in Chilling Reign. And we, as it stands at the moment, have seen 0 special energy, which are coming around in the Japanese sets that will make up Chilling Reign. So let's go from 0 to 1, shall we? Now, our translation here comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet. Stop me if you've heard that before. And what we've got here is Lucky Energy. It provides 1 colourless energy, like so many special energy in the past, and whenever the Pokemon this card is attached to is damaged by an opponent's attack, even if that Pokemon is knocked out, draw a card. Now, I told you it's called Lucky Energy, and this is probably going to make a bunch of you right now start thinking about Lucky Egg. Lucky Egg, of course, got a reprint in Sword and Shield, and it is a tool card that when a Pokemon is damaged and knocked out, you draw until you've got 7 cards in your hand. Now, that is only when you're knocked out, and it is up to 7, so you could end up getting 7 cards with a 0-card hand. You could end up getting none. It's a tool, so if people are playing stuff like Tool Scrapper, that's a little bit sad, etc. But there are very, very much similarities between the two of these. And initially, there was another card that obviously came to mind, and that card, very simply, was, well, hang on a second. How is this different from Draw Energy? Now, Draw Energy, don't be thinking they're going to be around in the same format for ages. Please bear in mind that Draw Energy is going to be rotating about 6 weeks after this comes out in Chilling Reign. Draw Energy, you draw a card when you attach it. Here, you draw a card when you are damaged, even if knocked out. Which one's better? It depends. The thing about Draw Energy is that when you attach it, you draw a card. No ifs, no buts, no maybes, no mucking about. You attach, you draw. Here, if you're against a deck which is poking and spreading, or you're against something like that Duraludon that does a little bit of damage while accelerating energy, and those cards always come around here and there, and you get like 5 or 6 hit KO'd, clearly this is awesome. Bearing in mind, of course, you could have more than 1 Lucky Energy on the same Pokemon, so you would then essentially be drawing 2 or 3 cards every time you were damaged. Please obviously do remember as well that when you draw these cards, it then goes straight into your turn. There's no mucking about. So what that means is you have got those cards in hand, ready to use right now. And that's a big thing, ladies and gentlemen. That is a very big thing. They are there, they are ready, they are available. You go for it. The problem is, what if your opponent gets rid of the energy? And that is absolutely a thing. Now, pre-rotation, we got a card that does see a rather whole bunch of play. We've got that Giratina. And it can be reused with Scoop Up Net. That'll get rid of a special energy. Don't forget, we've just had Fan of Waves come out. And that doesn't get rid of the energy. It puts it on the bottom of your deck. You can reattach it and use it later. But that's still a thing. The other thing we need to remember is that Galarian Zapdos is definitely going to be a thing. It already is over in Japan. And that removes a special energy before doing damage. I.e., they remove special energy, then do the damage, but when they do the damage, you don't have any energy attached to draw from, unless you've got multiple, in which case I believe they will only get rid of 1. But you see the point I'm making here. It's easily played around. If you just get 1 hit KO, there's no real difference between Draw Energy and Lucky Energy, except Draw Energy gives you the energy right now, and Lucky Energy is a bit more in your opponent's control. When Draw Energy rotates out, obviously this becomes the better option in that it is the only option. Pre-rotation, I think I might like Draw Energy more. And draw energy, even in Porygon Z decks, is often pushed aside for other energy. Hey, speaking of which, we should mention Porygon Z either before rotation or in expanded. And yes, I'm sorry, but we are at that stage of the format where these cards are coming out 6 weeks before rotation. We absolutely need to be bearing in mind rotation when we're talking about these cards. It is really important. You can now have 4 draw energy and 4 lucky energy in the same deck. That is going to give you a lot more draw as we go through. So the conclusion is, in the short term, I think draw energy is probably more reliable. But in the right matchups, this could end up drawing you a bunch of cards. The thing is, when we hit rotation, this is going to be your only option anyway. So if you want to draw cards using special energy, you know what? This could be good. But like I say, you really do need to remember and bear in mind, if we're in a format at the moment where we've got Porygon Z and we're still not seeing a huge amount of play and a huge amount of love for draw energy, that doesn't say great things about draw energy, ladies and gentlemen. But hey-ho. Let's go ahead and give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. Not a bad card, a good card, an interesting card, but one which I fear may, like draw energy before it, end up being an occasional tech to help out some decks, rather than really having a chance to be great in the future. But hey, maybe we should take a look at Ribombee. Now, Ribombee here, it's a stage 1, but it's also a Ribombee, so you know it is going to be rather weak. We got 70 HP, which on the one hand does mean you get to use Level Ball to search out your stage 1, which is cool. And on the other hand, really, 70 HP on a stage 1? 70 HP is pretty much standard for an evolving basic nowadays. Galarian Zigzagoon has 70 HP. Frankly, we can do better, and we should probably expect just a little bit more than we get here. Now, it does have free retreat. Free retreat is awesome. It is a massive advantage. It's nice after a KO. It means you're not going to be stranded in the active, etc. So there are reasons for it. And it's weak to metal. And I want to say it doesn't matter because you've got 70 HP. But Duraludon has seen a bunch of play, and Duraludon does do 30. So actually, that's 70 HP. As much as it is absolute terrible trash garbage, and it is, it can tank a hit from Duraludon. Yay! As for being a psychic Pokemon, you do get to use Horror Energy, which is nice for dropping a bit of extra damage. You hit weakness on stuff like Urshifu, although, wow, you're not really doing a huge amount of damage on the Urshifu now, are you? But we do have one attack here, and it's alright, I suppose. Could be worse. For 1 colorless energy, which does mean you can fit it into any deck you like, you do 30 damage, and you move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. And right now, we need to take a look at the difference between our current style of special energy and our old style of these type-specific special energies. So let's take a look at Strong Energy and Stone Fighting Energy. They are the fighting ones, obviously. Now, Stone Fighting Energy always provides a fighting energy, but when attached to a fighting Pokemon, it will reduce damage done by attacks by 20. Okay. But if we compare that to Strong Energy could only be attached to a fighting Pokemon, and if at any point it was not attached to a fighting Pokemon, it fell off. Oh. Nowadays we got Powerful Colorless Energy, which has the same effect as that, but the difference is, even when it's not attached to a colorless Pokemon, it still provides colorless energy. And this is super important, because Pokemon with this attack we've seen many times before, but they were way better with the old style of special energy. Because what you could do was you could move a strong energy to a non-fighting Pokemon, and it would go away. It would be removed from play, it would be discarded. That was awesome. That's not what this does. And the problem is, I worry, ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly, I worry. Now, if we take a look at, for instance, Rapid Strike Energy, we might as well go there. That's another energy card that lets you do an extra 20 damage. I meant Single Strike Energy. We all knew I meant Single Strike Energy. Single Strike Energy can only be attached to a Single Strike Pokemon. So in a Single Strike matchup, if you do come against a deck which is playing any non-Single Strike Pokemon, then you can do that same trick to remove it. The problem is, most cards, things like Twin Energy, you are just going to put it onto another Pokemon that can either use it for retreating later, or might even be able to use it to attack. Maybe you end up putting energy onto, say, a Crobat, and your opponent isn't playing Darkness Energy, so they literally cannot attack with Crobat. Maybe you can kind of shut them down, but the fact of the matter is, most of the time, you're evolving up into a stage 1, you're doing very little damage, and you're moving an energy a lot of the time your opponent can take advantage of. You'll notice I've only mentioned special energy here, because of a basic energy, your opponent can just use like an energy switch and move it right back. And okay, I suppose that is slightly annoying, but it's really not a big deal. In the past, we've seen this on stuff like Ipom G, Ambipom G, and Ambipom G was really good. But the difference with Ambipom G was, it was a basic Pokemon. You were already playing Ambipom G because Snap Attack was a really good counter to Garchomp C level X. And so you could just bring it out in occasional matchups. You were playing the card anyway. It was this or Dragonite in basically every single SP deck because you needed a Garchomp counter. Garchomp was way too good. So you might as well have it in there and use it. There was another version of this card that saw a bunch of play. It was Smoochum, back when baby Pokemon were a thing. It was not one of the more widely played baby Pokemon, but it had a little bit of play here. But it was a basic Pokemon that did it for 0 energy and then went to sleep, and like all babies back then had a Pokebody ability. Passive abilities used to be called Pokebody, ones that were just always there. And if you were asleep, then your opponent couldn't actually do anything to you. So you could move energy, but you wouldn't have to put energy on Smoochum, and you'd have immunity. And you can see where I'm going with this, right? We've had this attack in the past, and it was good. But really, the examples here should just go to show how bad Ribombee is. It's a stage 1. It does naff damage. It ain't good, ladies and gentlemen. It just ain't good. So let's go ahead and give it between 2 and 3 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I'm not saying it's unplayable. Certainly in a pre-release, if your opponent is struggling to get their end. And I can imagine certain matchups where this could absolutely work. But the fact of the matter is, it is an effect that we have seen in the past, which has been good, but under, shall we say, better circumstances. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this, about both of these cards, to be honest with you. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.